Hi, Alicia here. Welcome to my channel. Today, let's have a bit of a scavenger hunt. Hey, how's it going? I hope you are doing well. If you're new here, this is the place where we talk about books. Today, I thought it would be really fun to do the "Do I Have That Book" tag. This is a tag from like 2018. It is not new. This is not original content. It was created by Keeping Tabs. I will link her original video below. And this is a book tag that is all about just doing a scavenger hunt of your shelves. My brain has been not in the best place this week, this month, this year, and I just wanted to do something fun and nice and light. And you know what? Doing a scavenger hunt of my bookshelves is just like the exact thing that I needed. So the way that this tag works is there are 20 questions. They are 20 scavenger hunt questions, and you're just supposed to do them as fast as you can. You time yourself, you go through the questions, and you try and find the book that meets that criteria. So it's not guaranteed that you will have a book that does it. You are just meant to try. And this tag is a couple of years old. I had seen people do this tag. I had watched videos of this tag before, but it had been long enough that I had definitely forgotten about all of the questions because I didn't want to cheat. Like, I don't want to go in as a cheater. No. So you know what? I let enough time go by, and then I gave the questions to Josh, and he read them to me, and then I tried to find them. So let's just, I'll cut in the footage of me doing the scavenger hunt. Might be the most boring shit in the world. We shall see. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun looking for these books. And you know what? There's 20 books that I'll show you. So without further ado, let's go do a scavenger hunt. Okay, so the time to beat is 8 minutes. I'm just going to turn on my timer and then we'll go. Okay.
Do you have a book with deckled edges?
Yes. Kill Creek. Kill Creek has deckled edges. I found Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. This is a horror from a couple of years ago. This book has deckled edges, and also his book Violet that came out last year also has deckled edges. I think the deckled edges are beautiful. I really think that they complement a book, but I don't like reading books with deckled edges. That's just me. That's just my rant. That's just me. That's just me being picky. So, deckled edges, Kill Creek, Scott Thomas. I also really liked this. I gave this 4-ish stars. It's not a book that's going to change your life. It does have problems. It is a debut. But you know what? I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I really liked Violet, which was his second book.
You have a book with 3 or more people on the cover.
Yes. Luca and the Fire of Life. There's a magic carpet with a bear, a dog, a man, a wizard, and another man in a hat. I have Luca and the Fire of Life by Salman Rushdie. This is a middle grade magical realism about a boy whose dad goes to sleep and doesn't wake up, and then he has to go into this magical world to find the Fire of Life to bring it back to his father so that his father wakes up and doesn't sleep forever. Ooh. This was pretty good. I gave this 3 stars.
Do you have a book based on another fictional story?
Like a book based on like a lore, like mythology, like a mythology retelling? Oh yeah, I do. Circe is based on the Iliad. I have Circe by Madeline Miller. This is from 2019. This is following Circe the Witch from the Odyssey. I think I said the Iliad earlier, but that's because I'm a fucking idiot, and it is the Odyssey. Circe is a really badass witch living on an island, and then she's, you know, Circe is a footnote character in the Odyssey, but this book really fleshes her out, gives her some personality, gives her some story, and gives her something worth following. I really liked Circe. I gave it 5 stars.
Do you have a book with a title 10 letters long?
Oh dear. We're just gonna go through every single book. 10. Call Me Evie, a thriller. 10 that is long. We have Call Me Evie by J.P. Pomer. This is a thriller, a psychological thriller. It is a PTSD Stockholm Syndrome story about a girl named Evie, but is her name really Evie? Is the father really her father? What's really going on here? This is one of those like fragmented thrillers where you have to piece it together as you go along. And this is pretty good. I mean, it wasn't that memorable of a story, but I do remember enjoying it when I read it.
Do you have a book that with a title that starts and ends with the same letter?
Oh, like palindrome style? Holy moly, my brain is not thinking. Oh! The Subtweet by Vivek Shraya. Starts and ends in T. We have The Subtweet by Vivek Shraya. I loved this book. I just read this last month. This is a book about two women of color in the indie music scene. It is very current, very contemporary, very searing, very biting, a lot of political commentary, and a really fun time. This was, I believe, Vivek Shraya's first full-length feature novel, and I loved it. I'm here for it. Ready to read more of what she's got to say. I gave this 4 stars.
Do you have a Mass Market Paperback book?
The Ruins by Scott Smith. This is a wonderful, disgusting horror about a bunch of shitty teens that go on vacation in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, and then something happens to them. That's something goes wrong. I don't have a problem with Mass Market Paperbacks. I don't mind reading them. I actually find their cartability from place to place kind of sweet. I can put it in my pocket. I can put it in my bag. I can carry it in my hand. I got no problem with Mass Market Paperbacks.
Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name?
Yes. The Troop by Nick Cutter is Craig Davidson. We have The Troop by Nick Cutter. Nick Cutter is the pen name for Craig Davidson. Craig Davidson also wrote the Saturday Night Ghost Club. He is a Canadian author. He has also written other books under Craig Davidson. Nick Cutter is his pen name when he is writing horror. He wrote The Troop, The Deep, and Little Heaven under Nick Cutter. The Troop is one of my favorite horror books ever of all time. It is a body horror coming of age story about a bunch of Boy Scouts going on a camping trip on an island when something heinous happens to them all. I loved this book. I also read it when I was camping on an island in the Canadian wilderness where this is set, and was that experience good.
Do you have a book with a character's name in the title?
Elizabeth by Ken Greenhall. We have Elizabeth by Ken Greenhall. This book is about Elizabeth. She is a 14-year-old girl who believes that she is a witch, and just the shenanigans that she gets up to with her and her family. This is also kind of a tale of domestic abuse as well, domestic and psychological abuse, and whether or not she is in fact a witch or just suffering from PTSD and delusions from the physical trauma of her life.
Do you have a book with 2 maps in it?
Two maps? The 5th season has 1 map. Do D&D books count?
Sure.
Because I'm pretty sure the Temple of Elemental Evil has millions of maps. But they're also not in the book. No, that's a cheat. D&D books are a cheat because I'm not reading those for fun. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I know I have this. I think I do. What about Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones have 2 maps? Yeah. Game of Thrones has 2 maps. There's one on each page. That is the Game of Thrones. For a book with 2 maps in it, I was lucky enough to find Game of Thrones, which has 2 maps. It's got a map of the North and a map of the South. Isn't that convenient for me? We all know what Game of Thrones is. I don't need to talk about that.
Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show?
A book? What about a movie? It says TV show?
TV show.
Well, I guess Game of Thrones would have been it, but I already used that book. Oh, wait. Horror Store has maps. I think there's more than one. Yeah, Horror Store has a map of Orsk at the beginning, and then it has a map of like the Hell Dungeon at the end. So I will use this one for the maps, and then I'll use Game of Thrones for the TV show. And then for a book that was turned into a TV show, I changed my mind. I changed my answers. So for the book that's based on the TV show, I'm gonna go with good old Game of Thrones. We're all aware of the show. We're all aware of how it ended. Yikes. And then going back to the map one, I found Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. And this book is set up like kind of set up like an IKEA catalog. This was a really fun reading experience. This was a good horror. And in the front half of the book, we've got the floor plan of Orsk, which is the store, which is the IKEA-like store. And then in the back, we've got this map of this like hell dungeon that is within Orsk. The Panopticon map going on in Orsk.
Do you have a book written by someone who is originally famous for something else? Celebrity, athlete, politician, TV personality?
Yeah, well, for something else?
Yes, for not being an author.
Does, would Caitlin Dowdy work? She is, Ask a Mortician. She has, like, the YouTube channel about,
It's kind of a TV person.
Okay, well, let me see if there's anybody else. Do you think that one counts? I have Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. For a book that was written by somebody who was originally famous for something else, we have Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is a comedian. He was also from The Daily Show. I have not read this one yet, so I'm excited to read this, and I'm excited to learn more about Trevor Noah.
Do you have a book with a clock on the cover?
A clock. A book with a clock on the cover. Stories of Your Life. That's a clock, right? For a book with a clock on the cover, this was probably the hardest one to find, and I am so mad about it because I have talked about Stories of Your Life by Ted Chiang countless times on this channel and in my life. How could I not remember that the cover is literally a clock? So I'm pissed about that. I'm pissed that this is the one that took me so dang long to find. But Stories of Your Life by Ted Chiang. This is a short story collection of speculative science fiction and fantasy short stories. Read this, it'll change your life. I loved it, and conveniently it also has a clock on the cover, so that's great. That's fun. Clocks! Clocks!
Do you have a poetry book?
Yes. I have The Complete Poems by Dorothy Parker. Just a rad mean lady. We've got the famed collection of poems by Dorothy Parker of the Algonquin Round Table. I absolutely love Dorothy Parker. I love what she has to say. She just is one of those, you know, witty satirists that I feel like I'd want to go have like a drink and a smoke with her, but I wouldn't want to know her for that long. I love her writing. I love her poems. They are funny, they are poignant, and they'll also make you really depressed.
You have a book with an award stamp on it.
Yes. Yes, 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 I do. Where is it? Let's think of something. Let's get one. Let's think of one. Yes. I have Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. It has the Stonewall Award. We've got The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This has the Stonewall Book Award on it. I haven't read this one yet. This is a book written in verse about a young black queer boy who gets into drag. I have heard so many good things about this, and this one is really high up. I think this one's going to be on my August TBR.
You have a book written by an author with the same initials as you.
A.K. 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 Is there an A.K.? Ooh. Yeah! We have The Hunger by Alma Katsu, A.K. My initials are A.K. and I am so mad that this took me so long to find because I hauled this book recently, like Alma Katsu, The Hunger by Alma Katsu. This book has been fresh on my mind because I've heard so many things about this book. It was just like staring at me from the shelf, but my shit brain was not able to absorb that this book existed and was right there. So we've got Amakatsu, A.K., my initials, A.K., The Hunger, a very contentious book. I've heard great things, I've heard terrible things, so I'm here to figure it out for myself. I have not read this one yet.
Do you have a book of short stories?
Yeah, I do. Let's, A Song for the Unraveling World by Brian Evanson. For a book of short stories, I had a lot of choice for this one because I love short story collections, but I went with Song for the Unraveling World by Brian Evanson. This was a gift from a friend, and I haven't read this one yet, but I am really excited to get to it. I read Last Days by Brian Evanson earlier this year, and it was incredible. He writes horror, noir, and a lot, you know, crime, horror, just wackiness, and I am really excited to get to this collection. I love short stories.
Do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long?
What a fucking question! What a mean-ass question. I don't even have page numbers. Between 500, sorry, you said 500 and 510?
Yes.
600. It's like 516. Oh yeah, it's 509. Yeah, there we go. The Kraken by China Mieville, 509 pages. I hated this question. This was the worst and meanest one to try and find, but I did find it, and that is The Kraken by China Mieville. I absolutely love China Mieville. I have not read The Kraken yet. This is one of his works that I haven't ventured into, but I'm imagining that it is about a giant squid.
You have a book that was turned into a movie.
Yes. what was the one I was saying earlier? Oh. The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker.
What was the movie?
Hellraiser. We've got The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, and this was turned into the Hellraiser franchise. This book was really good. It was a very good mix of body horror and sex in a really dark and disturbing way. It is about a man named Frank who has insatiable appetites of pain and pleasure, and he's just in search for the new pleasures that he hasn't experienced yet and hasn't thought of yet, and it leads him down a dark and dangerous path of which maybe he cannot return. Hellraiser. This one's a really short read, and I recommend it. This one isn't really a lot like the movie. The movie is quite a bit different, but you definitely see where the inspiration's at.
Do you have a graphic novel?
Yes. Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. For the graphic novel, I have a shelf of them. I just picked up Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. I have the first couple of volumes of this one.
Do you have a book written by 2 or more authors?
Yes. That would have been a good one, because that was written by 2 people. So. Or more. Oh, well, I guess short story collections are written by more. So. Other Voices, Other Tombs, edited by Brill and Sullivan, and there's like 12 authors in here, so that's it! Woo! How long did it take me to do? It took me 14 minutes. So definitely didn't beat 8. And then finally, for a book written by 2 or more authors, I will do you one better, and I will do a book written by like 13 or more authors. We have Other Voices, Other Tombs. This is an anthology of horror short stories. There is about 12 or 13 voices in here, authors in here. This was a great collection. If you like horror, if you like short stories, want to get more into horror short stories, check out this one. This has a mix of accessible, kind of light horror, but then also a few that are just grotesque and horrifying and will make you feel ick. So definitely like this one. Definitely talked about this one quite a bit, and for a good reason. It's good. So there you have it. There is my scavenger hunt of my shelves. This was a lot of fun to do. It put me in a really good mood, which was exactly the point of why I did it. So if you enjoyed watching this, I tag you to do it. I want to see what's on your shelf. I want to see you guys struggle to find these books. I will list all the questions below so you have them there for your ease. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about. Let me know what's what. Let's just chat. Just say hello. Drop me a hi. And I really appreciate you guys being here. You're keeping it real. So until next time, see ya!